Hi everyone.
Hi everyone,
Yeah,
and
welcome. Yeah, welcome to the final day of our 5 day workshop series. Yeah,
um,
let's wait a
let's
bit.
maybe let's wait a little bit so that everyone can join, and then we can get started.
Mhm. Hey Nhật, should we recap a little bit
Uh,
about our previous days? Uh-huh.
yeah, okay, yeah. While we wait, let's
Why we
recap
wait?
a little bit uh, about the previous day. So for the first day, we talk about the game design document and the handbook, right?
Uh, yeah, the handbook contain the core ideas like the MDA framework, game fantasy, core loop, and how to make a roadmap, how to make a flow chart. Yeah, so many idea you could do and write and present a good game document.
And I guess that I already understand how to write the GED and understand handbook since I we haven't seen any question yet. So I guess that's great, right? And for the second day, we talk about meaningful choice, like what makes a choice interesting, what are the paths of the choices, and how can we make some less interesting choice be more interesting.
Yeah, I I think after day two, we you will start asking better questions. Uh, Before you adding some feature like should I add this instead of I want to add this feature into our game, right?
Mhm.
uh,
I guess
so
most of the time people will want to add like a lot of different mechanic into the game since people like many games, right? And then they want to put everything that they like into their own game. But sometimes that is not like the best idea because it will create like too many choices, and too many choices will lead to to what again? To meaningless choice because no one understands what is going on except like the designer who makes the game. So I think like one of the most important thing is we know what kind of choices that we want the player to make, and we only add those that will make our game better instead of adding everything in.
mhm.
And
Then
for the yeah,
okay, please continue.
and for the third day we talk about psychology, right?
Yeah, psychology and I think you guys began to understand your player more and more deeply, and hopefully you can use that knowledge to make better design. And
And yesterday we talk about one chance game.
how to
Then
analyze a chance game.
yeah,
We
then
put
has
it all together, everything we have learned so far.
yeah, then has gone pretty in depth into like how to analyze one chance game, and I hope that after yesterday's session you will have more insight on not only that chance game but the process of analyzing a game in general.
Yeah, Talk
because
about like a chance game. It's really hard to find anyone like this because people tend to uh, analyze some normal game, and it's hard to find a session about analyze a chance game, or
yeah,
especially a gamble game like yesterday.
yeah, it is pretty like frowned upon that like people analyze chance game, but I think those kind of game is also very valuable too because we might need to do those kind of games someday, or we can see under the hood like what makes those games so addicting to some people, and these will not only help us make better game, but will also help us like make better mechanics for the players, like mental health too. To understand the addiction, we have to stop the addiction. We have to understand how the addiction work, right?
So I think
Okay,
this finally is today.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then yeah, and it all leads to today. So combining what we have talked about in the previous 4 days. So today we're going to talk about how to balance a slot machine game. Okay, so I guess let's get started. Of course, the first thing first, this session we also have a disclaimer. All the information in this session is purely for educational value because, like, as it is the same as with the last session. Um, what we about to talk is not like we condone making gamble games or anything at all. This is only for educational purpose to understand more about how to balance a chance game and to be more specifically how to balance a slot game, a slot machine game. So I hope that you will find today's session helpful for you in balancing any kind of game that involve chance because I will talk about how to balance like any kind of game with chance in general. For example, if you decide to make like a loot table, this will also be helpful for you. If you want to make something like a roll the die mechanic or something like that, this will also helpful for you. Um, we are about to talk about dice a lot. Okay. So first thing first, I want to talk a little bit about slot machine. I think that a lot of you understand what is a slot machine, but like there's so many kind of slot machines, right? Right. So for the kind of slot machine that we are about to work on today, here's a video so that we can get on the same page. Okay. So the slot machine that I'm going to talk about today is this kind of slot machine. So like very simple, has only one line, and you can press spin to spin it. And how this works is you press spin, and then the reels will start spinning around randomly, and we will stop randomly. And depending on the symbol that you hit on each reel, if you hit like the winning combination as shown here, then you will gain reward. The reward is different based on what kind of symbols that you hit, what kind of combination of symbols that you hit, and depending on the game. And then after you're done spinning, then you can spin again and spin again and spin again. Of course, since this is like a gamble game, each spin costs money, and you have a chance to earn your money back whenever you spin the correct symbols. Okay, so yeah, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Press spin or like in real life, there may be like a lever, and then you pull the lever so that like the reel will spin. Okay. So one question you may ask, like you can see that there are tons and tons of slot machine everywhere, right? So you may ask, it is truly random? Because since there are so many slot machines everywhere, there must some kind of way that the house will have an edge on the players, right? Because if the slot machine keeps giving out players money, then there will be no slot machine because it is a loss to running these kind of machines. So there's definitely like some sort of profit in those, right? And since there are a lot of slot machines, there must be big profit in those, right? And then you might think, okay, is this game rigged? It is truly random. In short, yes, actually, most slot machines are fair. So it's not like they are trying to deceive you into like giving them the money and then they will do some kind of trickery behind the scenes, especially with like you have online slot machines nowadays, right? So it's not like a real machine, and you would think like, oh, they must be scamming me because like when I bet, I wouldn't get anything, but like some guys bet and they will earn like big money. Those guy who win big, they must be like the casinos guy or something. That's why they win big. They just try to scam me because I look at those people winning and then I got drawn into those. No, it's not like that. Actually, like most of the time, slot machines are fair, and even there's some places that the law requires the machines have to be fair. For example, in Vegas, there's or in the United States, there's like a committee that check all the slot machines, to ensure that all the slot machines in the casinos are fair. So most of the time, there's no trickery going on. It's not a rigged game at all. It's just that math. So you may ask, okay, so it's not a rigged game, though they are not trying to like deceive me. Then how can the house earn money without rigging the game? So in order to do that, we have to understand something called expected value. They use something called expected value in order to have an edge on the player. Like if you go to some kind of gambling site, sometimes you will see that they will talk about the house edge. This is the edge that we're talking about. And since the house work on the rule of big numbers, they can expect some gain. That's why it's called expected value. Okay, so I have an example for you. Okay, so for example, I want you to roll dice, and then you can bet in two stacks. You can either bet that the dice value will be three or lower, or you can bet that the dice value will be four or higher. Which one do you which one do you think? Which one will you bet? Do you think that one stack has better odds than the other? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so in order to do that, let's just find out. Okay, I'm gonna press roll here. We're gonna go to the website, go roll dice, and I'm gonna roll like one dice, six sides. So standard six sides dice for 10 times. Okay, let's get started. Go, and we can see that. I click show start. You see that from 1 to 3, there are 6 times, right? From 4 to 6, there are 4 times. So 1 to 3 has a slight edge compared to 4 to 6. Okay, let's like roll another time. Okay, for this time you see 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 4 to 6, uh, 6 times. So it is the reverse. So after like the 2 times that we roll the dice, one time 1 to 3 win, right? And the second time 4 to 6 win. So we can say that the chance is about like 50-50, which is true since there are 6 sides of the dice, right? And each the chance of hitting one side compared to like the other is 1/6. So the chance of hitting 3 or lower or the chance of hitting 4 or higher should essentially be the same, right? It is 50-50. There's like a 50-50 chance to hit 1 to 3 or 4 to 6. Simple, right? Okay. So now I want to ask you another question. Let's roll 100 die, and then we will calculate the value of the die that we roll together. Okay. So now I want to ask you, um, do you want to bet that the value will be 300 or lower, or the value will be 300 or higher? Since three is like the middle point, right? And then we roll like 100 die, so it will be 3 times 100. So it will be 300 or lower or 300 or higher. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's gonna roll. Okay, so 200 die, 200 d6 dice one time. Okay, roll. Okay, so the first one we get 336 over 300, right? Let's be lucky. Another time 355. No, 353. Okay. Another time 351. Another time 331, 79, and 55. 62, 45. As you can see, every single time it is higher than 300. So it is different from this one, right? It is not like 3 or lower or 4 or higher anymore. If we add like 300, 100 dice value together, it will always, like on average, have a value higher than 300. The value will be 355 to be exact. So you may ask, why 355? This is the answer why. This is the reason. So there are 6 sides in the dice, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And if we add them all together and then we divide by 6, then a dice in average will have a value of 3.5. If you think about it, it makes sense, right? So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, 6 faces. So that's why we divide like the sum of all of the value on the face of the dice over 6, and then we get 3.5. And what is 3.5, you may ask? 3.5 is the expected value. So we can expect that on average, one single dice will give us a value of 3.5. So that's why we have 350. 350 is 3.5 times 100. That's it. That's how we calculate it. And if we know this in advance, right, then we will surely place the bet on the 300 or higher, because we know for sure that on average, this will be the value. This will be like the result of rolling 300 dice. Okay. If you look at, like, if we um, divide all those things around, we can see that it is actually like 1 over 6 plus 2 over 6 plus 3 over 6 plus 4 over 6 plus 5 over 6 and plus 6 over 6, right? And what do this call? The number up here is the value of the die. And the number down below here is the number of possibilities. And then we can have like a formula to calculate expected value. Our formula will be something like this. In order to calculate the expected value, we can find the sum of the value of the possibility over the number of possibilities. And that's how we calculate the expected value. Okay, but if we take a look like a little bit deeper, we can see that this can also be written like this. So 1 times 1 over 6 plus 2 times 1 over 6 plus 3 times 1 over 6 plus 4 times 1 over 6 plus 5 times 1 over 6 plus 6 times 1 over 6. And 1 over 6 is the chance of hitting, right? Since there's 6 faces on the die and each face has an equal chance of hitting. So the chance of hitting per one face will be 1 over 6. And of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are what are like our value. So we can also calculate expected value with this formula. We can take the sum of the value times the chance of hitting, and then we can get the expected value. Okay, so all those expected value talk, right? And I did promise you that that is how the house win a slot machine game. But this, how does this relate to the slot machine at all? Okay, so you may notice that slot machines has different rules. So in this example, there are three rules, like the left one, the middle one, and the right one, right? However, if you like pay close attention to the rule, you can see that the distribution of the symbols on the rules are not equal. So it's not like we have like 7 symbols on the reel, right? And then each symbols will appear on the reel like once. No, it's not like that. The distribution of the symbols on the reel is are not equal. So some symbols will appear more and some will appear less. And based on like the knowledge of the expected value that I just talked about, right? Can you guess which symbol will appear more and which symbol will appear less? Remember, the chance of hitting will determine our expected value. So if the symbol if like the symbol is the winning combination, right? The symbol will give high value. What does that mean? Of course, like each chance of hitting will be lower, right? So that means what? That means there will be less symbol that pay more compared to the symbol that pay less. And that's how we can calculate the expected value of a slot machine to ensure that the house will always win. Very simple, just by adjusting the number of symbols and how often the symbols appear on the reel, we can change the art of the game so that the house will always win. Okay, so how does that look like? You may ask. Here's an example. So this is like a balance of like a classic one line progressive slot machine or slot machine with jackpot. So over here you can see that in this slot machine there are 4 reels, right? And each reel will have 7 different symbols. So no, sorry, not each reel have different symbols, but this slot machine has 7 different symbols. And as you can see over here, the frequency of showing the symbols is different from each reel and different from each other. So you can see that on reel 2, the symbol 1 appears 5 times, right? But on reel 3, the symbol 1 is only appear on twice. So there will be a less chance that symbol 1 will appear on reel 3 compared to reel 2. And of course, in order to win, we need to have the winning combination. And the winning combination in this slot machine require 4 symbols. So there's no like 3 symbols and 1 wildcard. We must have 4 symbols in order to win. And with that, we can control the expected value. Okay. So how will we balance a slot machine? We can do that in 4 steps. So step 1, have to set up the machine. Step 2, define the winning combinations. Step 3, calculate the expected value of the combinations. And step 4, balancing and adjustment. Okay. So for step one, setting up the machine, there will be different questions that you have to answer. The first question is, how many reels will this machine have? Because the number of reels will determine the chance of hitting certain combination. Okay. The next thing is, how many symbols are there? What are they? This is more about like the theme of the slot machine, right? So for example, if you want to make a slot machine about racing, you might want to have something that is related to racing in this. For example, you can have like the wheel, the tire, the gasoline can, things like that. Those kind of symbols that is related to the theme of the slot machine that you're working on. Or for example, you might want to do something like a farm slot machine, and then at that point, then you want to put like different crops in the slot machine, right? Like you can have symbols like carrot or like radish or like pumpkin, things like that. Or like for like a classic slot machine, you can have something like bar symbol, seven symbol, bomb symbol, things like that. So all of these is just like depending on like the type of slot machine that you are working on. And the next thing you want to ask is what is the frequency of each symbol in each reel, and then how many symbols does each reel have? So like the thing about how many symbols does each reel have is it is more on like the physical slot machine, like the one with like the actual reel, because we have to spin the reel physically, right? So we have to make sure that each reel have an equal amount of symbol in it. If we are working on like an electronic slot machine or like an online slot machine, then those kind of things might not matter too much, because we don't have to care about the physics at all. So we can make the reel, like one reel have more symbols compared to the other reel. But in order to like make our life easier and might be easier to balance, then you can just make us like the total number of symbols in each reel will be equal. So as you can see here, there are four reels, right? And each reel will have 28 symbols of different frequencies. Okay, so for the step two, you have to define the winning combination. So you have to ask yourself which combinations of symbols will play. Okay, so this is also very important, right? Because you can choose whatever you want. You can choose like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like the winning combination will be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay, that's fine. But you might also want to ask yourself like what is like the easiest way for the player to understand that this kind of combination is a winning combination. So we can see that in classic slot machine, right? Um, rolling a rolling 3 sevens will earn a jackpot. That is like the best winning combination, because player understand that. So first, they can see that okay, I have three symbols that is similar to each other. So I have three of the same symbols. Okay, and seven is like the lucky number. Okay, so 3 sevens must be the best, right? Very helpful, very easy to understand. And then when they hit 3 7, they understand that okay, they win big. So yeah, you also have to pay attention to this in here, so that people will understand that what are like the winning combination and what is the best winning combination. So that will go along with this. How much will that combination pay? And you may also have to ask yourself how many winning combinations are there, because as you can see here over here, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 winning combinations, and each winning combination will pay out different value. So 4 1s will be like the best, 4 2s will be like second best, and 4 3 will be like the no 4 4s will be like third best. But we can also have different kind of combination too. So it doesn't have to be like four of a kind symbols. It can also be like four different symbols, but we define that those four symbols have something that is maybe like related to each other. So whenever the player rolls those four symbols, they will understand that okay, these four goes together and I win something very intuitively. And for the next part, we will gonna calculate the expected value. So in order to do that, we have to calculate the chance of hitting for each combination. Since that we have like the symbols here with different frequency, right? And we have to hit like four same guy. We can calculate the chance of hitting this kind of combination, and then we can calculate what is like the expected value of the combination. The expected value combination will be like the payout, right? The value of this combination times the chance of hitting, and then we can have like the payout, and then we can take the sum of the whole payout to see like the expected value of the machine. And after we calculate that, we can go to step 4, balancing and adjustment. So this at this point, then you probably should play test your slot machine to see that well does the game play frequently enough to keep the player engaged. Because like for example, you can have like a huge payout, right? And you don't have and you don't have any kind of winning combination that gives the player small money at all. Okay, that's fine. That's fine really. But when you play the game, you can see that okay, it feels like you never hitting. And the thing is, sometimes it is better to let the player win more money so that they can feel that they have a chance of winning, so that they won't get bored. So yeah, remember to play test your slot machine to get a feel of okay how this thing works. Does this thing like keep me engaging? And the last part will be like you can change the numbers so that the house edge hit the desired value. So in this case, the total payout percentage is 93.4%, right? So that means the house edge will be 6.6%, which is pretty high, to be honest. Normally, the house edge will be something around like 5% or less. And even with 5% or less, the house still makes like tons of money because there are a lot of people play this kind of game. And each day, like each player can have like normally something like 10 to like 50 spins, 50 spins per person. So there's a lot of plays per each machine. So that, and if you think about it, like the player put $1 per spin, right? And they with a payout percent of 95%, that means each time the player put $1 in, the house will get um, $0.05 back. So 5 pennies back. And it adds up a lot with many plays from different players every day. And yeah, that's it. That is how you balance a slot machine. Thank you for your attention. Okay, so I guess it is a question and answer time, Q&A time. Uh, and I guess before we go to that, I want to introduce us again. I'm Nhật, and my, this is my friend Tian. I'm the founder of Uma Game Works, and Tian is the founder of GNL. And yeah, thanks for coming out to our workshop.
Yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, so let's get those questions rolling.
Okay. Anyone have any question? Okay. Anyone have any question? So there's the first question here. How do you create a feeling of near misses without being manipulated? How do you create a feeling of near misses without being manipulated?
Can you repeat the question?
Was that clear?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay. How do you create the feeling of near misses without being manipulated? Okay. How do you create the
Um,
feeling of
so in order to make the player feel have the feeling of near misses, then I guess we don't actually have to change the balancing at all. We have to make like how the slot machine work. We have to change how the slot machine work. Like how it present the value. So we can see here that whenever the player spin, right, the reel will rotate from up to down. And in order to create like suspense, we can do something like when the reel is about to stop, it won't stop like immediately. It will slowly stop, and that will create the suspense for the player, and will create like the sensation of near miss. And one other thing is we can also put like winning symbols on different reels to be close to each other, but like off by one, so that when the reel rolling like slowly until it stops, the player can see that, oh, okay, I almost had like the winning combination, but it doesn't stop there. It keep rolling a little bit, and it change into like the different symbol. So that's how you create like the near miss feeling. Uh,
question? Another question. How do you balance the fact that the bigger the maximum payout, the smaller the chance of hitting?
Isn't that a fact?
but bigger maximum payout, the smaller chance of
Do you
hitting.
need to repeat the question?
Mm,
Uh, I think that that is like a given, right? Because
yeah.
yeah, because like if we have like a big payout with like a huge chance of hitting, then we will have like a negative expected value. So that means the house will lose, and that is not like the business of the casino, right? The business of the casino is to win against the player, not to lose. So I guess yeah, that is pretty hard. There might be something that we can do by it though, like maybe we can make something like a progressive slot machine, so that one person can walk away with like a huge prize money, and after that the jackpot is reset, right? And that's how you entice player to see that okay, player can still win big, and there and we can minimize the damage to the house.
Yeah, I think more importantly is play testing, and we may see the machine actually work as you intended. So that's how we balance things.
Yeah,
Just put everything on playtest.
yeah. I think that the progressive option will be the best if you still want to show the player that they can win big and there's a chance of winning.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the next question.
People, you are echoing, I guess.
Something is wrong with the audio. Like,
Uh-huh.
Do we have any other questions?
okay, maybe we can move on to the next question. How do you test that your slot machine is working as intended?
So one of the I think best way to test a slot machine is we can do something called the Monte Carlo method.
Yeah, Monte Carlo, right?
Yeah,
Around running million of experiment to get the
and
statistical behavior.
and then we can aggregate those data to see that like if the real data return from the simulation match with what we assume it to be.
But I think most of you guys don't bother to start a real life slot machine, right?
Mm,
So I guess more, so I guess Monte Carlo is good for you
yeah, it's easier to make like Monte Carlo simulation of like a video game for sure.
for sure. Uh, I think another thing is you uh, play test and see how the actual player play, and they may have their weird style of play. So you need to test the edge case, like they hit button 10 times in a row. It doesn't do much, but it still maybe sometimes it still affect the value. So you need to test them all, test every combination you found out. So two things: Monte Carlo and playtest. I think that's if you can doing that, so you're fine.
Yeah, okay, that's it. Uh, can we go to the next question?
Okay, we can. How do you be about odds and payout rate with player?
Can you repeat the question? The network just dropped.
Hello, Ipo. Can you repeat the question, please? Oh my god.
Okay, so I can repeat the question. Okay. How transparent should developer be about art and payout rate with player?
I think they should be like 100% transparent about that
Yeah, I think
because
it's if you play for real money game, so definitely 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, otherwise it's illegal, so maybe unethical.
yeah, it is illegal in some cases and unethical in all the time, I guess.
Yeah,
Like if you make like a slot machine for virtual currencies, like for example, you have an RPG, right? And then you can make like a slot machine mini game in that. Then sure, you don't have to disclose like the odds of winning in that kind of game because it's just not like real money. But if there's some sort of real money involved, then I think you definitely should disclose the house edge so that people can play responsibly.
yeah, I think it's depend on the game you are working and maybe the country the game has been distributed, so you can choose the showing the art or not.
But I guess like a lot of the countries
But most of the
nowadays,
time, right?
yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of the countries nowadays require anything that have some sort of chance element, and you can pay that with real money. Then you must tell the player the odds. For example, like in those gacha games or like loot boxes, you also have to tell what are the odds of hitting this kind of thing. Or
yeah. I heard that in some gacha game, even we don't let player know the odds. They player still pay the money and find out
actually,
that
like most of the
real.
gacha game are required
Yeah.
to disclose the odds now.
Then now they
They have
always
to,
show the odds.
yeah, because the law requires them to. And yeah, I mean, like just as Tien said, even if like
Yeah, Inugami say like just share a story about. The lawsuit of Nexus.
Hmm.
Hmm. So because they not transparent, so it's also like a legal problem with like if you are not transparent about this. Is there
yeah,
like
Yeah.
depend on the country or like is this like
of course it will be depend on the countries, but
a
a
stream
lot of the
community or
countries
like
nowadays
on the
have
platform like so how is this work?
a lot of the countries nowadays have law require that. So yeah, better safe than sorry. Just disclose your odds. That's it. Or you might want to choose to like just release your game on in countries that the law doesn't require you to do that. I mean, that is your choice, I guess. But most of the countries with like high paying user like Japan or like Korea or like the US or like the the EU, they also have like laws require games to disclose the art. So yeah, I think that it is better to just disclose the art and then you can release your game on those kind of market. It's better. Okay. Um,
Okay, I think like we can have like the final question is what skill are the most important for someone want to work in game balancing?
it would be probably be math, right? I mean, like you don't need to learn like advanced algebra, something like that. Like you don't need to understand a lot about like what is differential and things like that. But yeah, like the basic math is a requirement, and also you need to properly understand about probability, since games use like random chance a lot. So like similar to like what I just talked today about expected value, right? This is like only like one part, like one small part of probability. There's more about that, like there's the chances that go together, or like chance like the events that go together, or events that go discretely, right? And with each one there will be like different way to calculate like the chance of hitting. So yeah, definitely math, probability, and also give sense, I guess, because I think that the perfect like balance doesn't exist. You can find something like a mathematical way to define something like in equilibrium, but it might not be like the best thing for your game. Like it might not be like the most fun way to play the game. So remember to also use your game sense too.
Hmm. And besides that, I think math is important, and I think the how you balance thing is also important too, because it depends on your intention to balance your game. Like a support, yeah, it's not, and carry they are uh, in the another league. So I while working into the balancing, you need to understand the basic of the game, like call the game, the game fantasy, and everything. They are foundation, so you need to understand all of them. Yeah, in order to put your intention into the math. I think that's all.
Okay, now is thank you for the speaker, and I think today like it's good to see Gambo for Studio and Inugami like becoming friend. And so now we will start the mini game in the end of the workshop. So please join, scan the QR code. Let's get ready, guys. So we can play this game. Okay, I think that we have 7 players, so we can start now. All right, let's see the winner. So, Flaw, where are you? Are you in Discord or are you in? Okay, I see you. Okay, congratulations and thank you for joining. I hope you have a great time, and tomorrow we'll have a. So this is the last session with Thiên Nguyễn and Nhật Trân. So yeah, if anyone want to connect with them, so just like you can. So here I tag them GNL in the Discord, so you can find like a Discord account, and here is like a Discord channel.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank Ipo for the shout out, and
Yeah.
Hope that you
Yeah.
have like a wonderful time in the
So
chat.
thank you for our speaker. We hope to see you more.
Okay, thanks
Okay.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye.